Hello and welcome to day one of our splits challenge. If you have sensitive knees, please grab pillows or blankets for your knees. We're going to come over onto all fours, open your legs up nice and wide, so really spread your knees and then bring your ankles in line with your knees. And this is your frog pose, okay? So rest on your hands and you're just going to gently rock back and forth, feeling that stretch on the inner thighs, maybe the hips. And if you want, you can come down onto your elbows. And no matter what position we're in today, just take some really slow, long inhales and exhales. And breathe through the discomfort. If you're not feeling anything, bring those knees a little bit wider. If it feels too much, bring those knees in a little bit closer. And then coming up onto your hands if you were on your elbow, you're going to pick your left foot up off the ground and back down. Pick it up, lower the hip as low as you can, and then lower it back down. Then do the same on the right side. So you're lifting it up, lowering the hip. So lift the left leg, lower the hip. Lift the right foot, lower the hip. So trying to get that internal rotation of the legs here. You'll notice as you pick the foot up, the stretch gets a little bit more intense. Just keep going, switching sides for a moment. And then relax, bring your knees back together. Let's step the right foot up, come into a low lunge. Hands up above your head. And we're pulling up, okay, so we're not sinking into the hips. Imagine that your left hip can push forward. So really tense your left bum cheek. Reach up as high as you can and push your left hip forward. So should feel a little bit of a stretch in that left hip. And then sink down. So now sink down as low as you can, keeping that length through the spine. And then bring the hands down to the ground. Reach behind, grab your left foot for a little bit of a quad stretch. Sink those hips low, bring that foot as close to the bum as possible. So right hand's on your left foot. Gently release. Bring your right knee back to meet the left and step your left foot up. So same thing on this side. So come to your lunge without dropping the hips first. Hands above your head, lengthen through the spine, and then make sure both your hips are pointing towards the top of your mat. And then imagine you can push your right hip forward. Squeeze your right bum cheek, reach up and hold. Make sure you're breathing. And then sink the hips down low. Left hand reaches behind for that right foot, right hand down on the ground. Remember to put a pillow underneath that back knee if it's irritating you. And pull that right foot as close to your bum as you can. So you're not on the top of your kneecap here, you kind of rolled off of the knee, you're on your low quad, your upper leg. Focus on that breathing, dip your hips low, bring that foot as close to the bum. And gently release. Bring your left knee back to meet the right. Okay, we're going to come into our yogi squat now, and then take your left leg out long for Skandasana, low side lunge. Point through the toes, and then flex. And point and flex. So try to keep length in your spine as you do this. You can use your hands for balance on the ground. Your right bum cheek is coming close to your right hip. Right foot is as close to the floor as it can be. Keep pointing and flexing that left foot. And then switch sides. So bring your hips over towards your left heel, straighten the right leg, point and flex the right foot. Again, keep that length in the spine. Keep your left heel as close to the ground as you can. It doesn't matter if it's not touching. You'll notice mine isn't touching here. And then we're going to bring the hips up, come up to standing. We're going to come into our goddess pose. So keep your feet pointed out at an angle, bend the knees, keep length through the spine, grab hold of your knees. Sink those hips nice and low as you can, trying to get your quads parallel to the ground, and then dip your left shoulder into the middle, back to center, dip your right shoulder down. As you do this, you're using your hands to push your knees away from you. So dip your left, push that left knee away. Dip the right, push the right knee away. Keep those hips low. Dip and push. Dip and push. And then coming back up. I'm just going to grab my yoga blocks. If you have any yoga blocks handy, then feel free to grab them. Come back down to the mat. Take your right leg out long, and we're going to come into our splits now. So use your blocks to bring yourself up as high as you need to. Slide your right foot out as far as you can, and then hold it there. Try to keep your torso upright. Notice here I'm not leaning over my right leg. My torso is upright. You can come onto your knuckles if your hands are hurting. Have the blocks as high or as low as you need them. And take some deep inhales and exhales here. You might find after a few breaths you kind of slide out a little bit more. Just allow that to happen. And then push through the blocks, bring that leg back up, shake out the hips, and we'll switch sides. So left foot comes up in front, slide it as far away from you as you can to start with. And then make sure your hips are facing the front of the mat here as well. So when you're in your splits, tense the front knee and tense the back bum. So in this case, tensing the left knee, tensing the right bum cheek. And then let your hips get heavy, sink them down, chest upright, hold for a few breaths. Keep breathing. And then slowly push through your hands, bring that leg back, shake out the hips. Come to seated, move your blocks out the way. Bend the knees, lean back slightly, bring the right foot over the left knee, lengthen through the spine, and then bring that left foot as close to your bum as you can. And again, lengthen through the spine. So you got a nice little bum stretch here. Great thing to do after the splits. Keep your right foot flexed. Bend the elbows, release that leg, left foot over the right knee, lengthen through your spine, bring that right foot as close to your bum as you can, and then lengthen up again. So to make it more intense, bring your right foot closer to the bum and bring your hands closer to your back so that you're more upright. And hold here, slow breaths, remember. Bend the elbows, release out with that. And that's us done for today. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I'm looking forward to practicing day 2. Let's inhale the hands up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Namaste.